almost there. Hello, people. Sorry for the late. Welcome to the Real Godcast channel. I'm thrilled to be here with the man, the guy, the great Enia, my guest, or maybe I am the guest. We are the guest, and we are here to share our experiences, and it's just about facts, not about theory, right? And our purpose here is tell you some nice experiences, which means we are talk about our life, our personal research, and often about God, the real God, and our power of God. And also, we'll speak about any experiences with my work in hypnosis and energetic therapy and the higher self connection. So I'm bringing you guys the great Enia to speak a little bit about our first episode and her point of view of this adventure.
Well, thank you, Mr. Cesar Miguel, for that amazing introduction. You're really good, a professional at your field. Your voice is amazing. You got a nice radio voice. It's very enchanting and pleasant. But anyway, thanks for agreeing to join to do this. Um, just so people know, we are have nothing figured out besides the intention to help. Right? My intention was to share my experience, right, as I am going through it, as I'm working with you, right, in private sessions. It's an ongoing work, and I would say exploration and research that has benefited me greatly. So my instinctive reaction is, let's talk to others about it. Why keep this under closed doors? Why can't this process be live and broadcast, right? So that's the initial intention. And of course, that's the basis of, like, how can we help more people, and how we can come from a personal experience, from an experience that's embodied and it's real, versus some ideologies or theories or information, and just right. So let's speak from experience. And here, I repeat the main intention that I have. I don't know, I speak for myself, right? We're two independent individual free thinkers here. Not everything, we don't think alike, uh, thankfully, because if we both thought alike, then would be AI, robotic, right? So we all both have our own ideas and concepts, and we hope to develop those ideas in a respectful manner, and again, with the intention of helping people first, and then stroking our ego, maybe just a little bit, because now we are YouTubers officially.
Yeah, it is the our first step here together. I have my personal channel in Portuguese. It's called Tecnologia Mental, where I share my work and testimonials and a lot of topics about my work. And my goal of life is teach you or remember you, which means you have the some power of God. What is the real God? I grew up listening and hearing guys speaking about we are like gods, we have the power of gods, and I just didn't accept it because I wasn't through a lot of pain in my life since I was a little kid, and I just thought how I can be a god with a lot of suffering. I just can't accept it. I just didn't understand it. But as much as I'm growing up and became growth man. I start with hypnosis after try to kill myself in the bridge, and it starts the new chapter of my life. I just had a long time researching about all these topics: religion, spirituality, mental power, and metaphysics, quantum physics, and a lot of these things. And there's a few years ago, I start to help people to wake up this God power and get to a straight connection with which we are know as the higher self. So Enea comes to me trying to solve some emotional issues, and he has a lot of research and just about self healing, but not just only about it. And well, he's the best guy to speak about his history. And if you want to introduce this history for us, it will be great. And yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know about the bridge story, that you try to kill yourself. I don't know. You actually were brave enough to get close to jumping off the bridge. I wasn't so brave. My attempt at hurting myself was staying in the balcony for in the cold weather without clothes, and I said I'm gonna get sick just because I was pissed off, like I'd probably die. So then if I die, then everybody's gonna start feeling bad about
so
it, Anyway, but I never really contemplated those thoughts, but like you, um, I also was very inquisitive, very curious, mainly to understand my condition because I felt very out of place, like I didn't belong, that I wasn't understood, and like stuck, right? And always had the feeling, had experiences with religion early on. I always try to understand. I remember going catechism at a young age, and on a side note, this is a subject that we also had interest on because um, I when I was inviting people to join our live, I made a case to invite as many people as possible from many different backgrounds, including religious, including Christians, and so I wasn't discriminating because I, of course, some people might have some preconceptions about us talking in language that's different, right? But trust me, I'm not trying to have a different language and different jargon and different way of talking. I'd like to talk in a way that's neutral, that can appeal to everybody, right? Everybody's mind. But closing parenthesis, going back to the story, I always felt like a fish outside of the water. But I also was very curious about religion, and everywhere I turned, I wanted to understand why, right? Because now I know, now after 41 years, almost 42, in November 15th, by the way, write it down.
oh, nice.
I got a gift, a card. Um, okay, we have an invader in the studio. So, hey, little bunny. You want to say hello? There's a little bunny that's invading the studio. So that little bunny, I was like that little bunny back in the day. I was very like hopping around, and I was very, I had this soul of joy and like presence. I was in awe with everything, and then I didn't understand why people were so miserable. I didn't understand why people gave so much authority to these bishops and archbishops and this, people which to me seem they seem ridiculous, right? They seem like sorry, I don't want to use foul language This is a family-friendly podcast. But who the hell are these people that can wear all these stupid clothes and pretend that they are the medium between God, right? So uh, I I will stop my thought going back to the fact that I really relate to your experience, and there's a lot of people from our tribe that feel like that, right? That we also always felt there was something wrong, and as a result, we ended up mentally isolating ourselves even more because it was so brutal, the experience of being in this world where people are blind, people are what's the word, surdo. What's in English? I forgot. Um,
Hearless.
yeah, deaf. That's the word. The people are
Death, yes, the word.
so blind and deaf, and they don't see and then don't understand. And I had that essence that in my soul very strong, right? And yeah, so they ended up screwing me up mentally, and I had to go through this journey of so fragmentation of my mind and my being, my existence, a lot of problems in my family and all of that. And now here we are. We survived barely. We still need some help from God. That's why we called it the God cast. I think we're trying to cast God down here, right?
Yes.
So you tell me. I will stop talking. I will warn you. I do have prolexia, which is I cannot shut up. And so please let me know if I'm talking too much. Give me a sign.
No, you're doing very well. I
Thank
think you have really interesting story, and it might get inspired a lot of people because you are surely have a good process with me, and you are doing a great job.
you. Right.
And it's not easy uh,
No.
for the most part of people around face the world uh, in the way it goes today.
Right.
But for some people, the things can really get scared. And I didn't remember, I didn't tell you about my suicidal history, but
Yeah.
it was true. I was through this way, and it was not so long ago. It's about 5 years ago only. And when I just remember uh, as it goes today, I was totally down in the sadness, almost in madness, and I just choose to climb the bridge, and I was searching for the better place to get my life killed, and I was searching from in the highway from different tree paths, and I just saw one particular way where just trucks are going. And I remember I thought, okay, this is the best place to jump in because I don't have to get a chance to survive on this and be um I don't know, and be sick for the rest of my life in the chair or in the bed or something like this. And when I decide to jump in, I hear the voice in my mind asking me if I was ready to let my sons alone without me. And it brings instant feeling to get out of the bridge and start to ask, no matter what was that voice. And I start to ask, okay, why? Just why? Why I'm having this crazy things in my life? Why I'm so good and I'm so dedicated to bring love and share love for all people around, and even being like this, I am feeling this kind of pain. I am crossing this kind of dark forest in my life. And I just remember that voice just tell me, you can understand right now. Just go home and get sleep, and tomorrow you will start to understand it. And I just didn't accept it. I I was ready to keep on the fight, asking and arguing why, that kind of ask, which only brings you more madness and more sadness, because sometimes you just are using your analytical mind wrong, right? And this is a good example. And some days after this day, I just start to hear in my head again this voice advised me to study hypnosis, which I never ever believed before. But I just started, and I start to watch a lot of videos, to research a lot of books, a lot of free material, and I will start to listen some things about Ted James, which is a good a good researcher about hypnosis, and a good therapist that James just created the line time therapy, and he's is a huge contributor of the NPL, which is another area I really study a lot of times since I was 11 years.
It's
And
PNL. In English, it's PNL.
PNL in Portuguese is PNL, in
In
English
Portuguese,
is
NLP.
NPL.
No,
NLP, yes,
yeah,
NLP,
neuro
neurolinguistic
programming.
programming, yes.
And
And then
before
uh,
I continue, your this voice in your head was like like how was that? Was it that
this is it's like another person voice.
right? And
Here in Brazil, we have a lot of religious people which believe um, all these voices maybe can be God, and we have another religious group which think is can be some kind of spirits or guard angels or something like this. But I will tell the secret. Uh, what is this in real, in fact? But I will let you for a second. I will let for a little bit in future in our conversation.
maybe later in the podcast. We don't want
Maybe
to
later. Yeah,
dismiss half of the the audience in the first day.
yeah, a little bit later. So keep watching, and probably you will figure out which is the voice, what is the voice, what it means. But this voice saved my life, and I just had a little bit time training to interact with this voice before, but it was mute for a long time, and just returning at this time to take me out of the suicidal and to bring me to this way, and in order to help people to recover from emotional pain, and after that to figure out their own God power, about higher self, about something like this. And I just remember it was really strange because I never mentioned this, and I just don't wanted to start. helping people for the first beginning, but I was it was almost natural. I was in the reunion group, and I met a guy, which this guy are crossing almost the same problem as me, and it's touched my heart because this guy just had um, a bad time, and on this day about in the meeting, this guy tries suicide too, and I just
He tried
thought,
to
oh
kill himself.
yes, he tried to kill himself at this day, and when I meet him, it was about a half hour ago. He's just
Was that
literally
hour
on red
before?
head. Yes, half hour before he tries suicidal. He tries to kill himself. And then I thought, okay, I have to do something because if I didn't, I will be responsible for this possible self killing. And I just used the what I had learned about hypnosis because at this time I just had my first how I can say it graduation
Yeah.
from hypnosis therapy, and in 20 minutes I just saved his life, and it was awesome. When this guy just opening her his eyes, he was crying, but by happiness. And he just said me, "Oh, I never felt this feeling before." And he has a really sad history too, and crossed a lot of difficult things. And that day was the day he just lost his twin girls. They just get born and die at the same day. And about this, he just lost himself in the way, and had 3 long days in the dark, 3 long years in the dark. And I just met this guy at this day, and never ever thought it can be possible bring someone to that kind of darkness to light again, especially in that day.
And
And
so
it
you said 3 years. 3 years before that, he had lost his twins at
three
birth.
years in the anniversary of 3 years of death.
So he was feeling the pain, and
I just felt that pain because I today I was about 5 years struggling uh, in the justice here to see my kids. I have twins too, and they are two boys. They are about to 9 years in November, 12 November. They are nearby you, and I'm struggling with it since 2009 and 19
2019.
9 2019 2019.
Yeah.
Yes, 2019. And this is the thing which start all this process, and that
Just
was the climax of my pain.
I was gonna
And
say, it's interesting that he also had twins, and you also almost lost your twins. I mean,
yes,
in a way, that's a coincidence.
yes, our
It's-
synchronicity,
yeah,
synchronicity, and the real strange thing is at that day there was about 4 people in the meeting, and I just had a movie theater on my mind where I just watched it. I had interacted with all that people, in past lives, and it was really strange for me.
So you had a
It was
mental image, like a
a
like a
metal image.
like a
Yes,
memory, like a movie that you had interacted, or
like
it's like a deja vu, right?
no, it's not like a deja vu. It was a memory, literally a memory. When you just remember, oh, what I did a day before,
Right.
what I get to the lunch, what I did at the morning, the day before. But it was about, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of years ago. And then I just was watching this as it was in the present day, and it was a little bit of strange for me, but which was more remarkable is the happiness this guy related to me. And I just remember when I'm going home, I was thinking about this thing, and that voice in my head starts to talk again. And then this voice just said, "Oh yeah, now you can understand." And then I just thought, I don't understand nothing about what is going on here. What
You
is
thought you were
going
crazy.
on here?
You thought you were going insane, right?
Yes, maybe, maybe.
I
But I start to ask again, okay, just tell me what's going on here. And that voice said me, you just can heal the pain you are ready to handle with, which means all the pain and struggling I had in my life has a purpose, which means I start to understand the pain from the inside and all the sides of pain to help people to recover really fast. And this starts from this day. About this day, I never stopped to help people doing exactly what I'm doing with you. And it was curious because it was almost like this is always inside me. I mean, it's just
it's
like I'm just born for this. You know,
yeah.
it's so natural and powerful inside me. You know.
I had the same impression because you do it in such an intuitive way, and because we interacted in various capacities, but when you get in that role, it seems to flow, and like you seem to know intuitively what to do, and right, and just understand. And I can tell you from my experience, like the shift is almost immediate. The first session I had with you, like I felt a little bit. I felt the symptoms in my body was heavy, but I was in a very good place mentally, emotionally, like, and I was very connected. I connected with my kids very well. We went to a park, to like a entertainment park, and we had a really amazing day. And like, it was an immediate shift. Obviously, it takes some time, but yeah, what you were saying, continue.
Oh,
I cut you off.
uh, nice. No, no,
Yeah, just just
you can
affirming.
keep
It was
going.
just affirming. No, yeah, you can. I just wanted to make a parenthesis. Yeah, I was affirming that. Yeah, that's an ability you have. When you have something, you have it. It's no point of sometime to analyze it because we tend to analyze things. But and it's a case with a lot of people that turn out not to value that so much because it's something that for them it's obvious. I will speak for myself also. Some things that come so easy for me, and it's always that thing where you wonder, you pass your life and you do all these things, try to feel like you are worthy, like try to get the degree or the certificate or the acknowledgement or the validation from this and that and person and whatever. But all along you had a skill and a gift that you don't see, and you look everywhere all around you, but then you never look under your nose to see that, wait, it's right there. So in a way, our environment or the government or some forces that program us to think less of ourselves, that we need something, we need a product or a service, be it educational or physical product, for us to be complete, to be whole, right? And always not seeing the what may be there already, right? And I completely screwed up in that regard because I even lost the ability to know how to connect with that, and to value, not to just to value it, but how to even acknowledge that's there, because I'm so used to just ignore it, oh, it's nothing, oh, it's not, yeah, it's not worth, that's all.
Yes, I know exactly what it means. And I'm here, especially because I believe you have this kind of gift or skill uh, too, right? You have the gift to bring people. And I believe your history, the history of your life, and the history of your overcoming process will bring light for a lot of people because you spoke the special word environment. The environment is a powerful thing to program people, and in these days, we sometimes get bored in a not so good environment, and we have a lot of situations which probably program us to not understanding the proper way the life. The life is a gift, but sometimes we cross a lot of lines in pain and trying to analyze things. We brings a lot more of this pain, and we start to distort this reality, which means we bring even more pain. And this is really sad because there's a lot of people struggling with this situation, and which is a little bit curious about this is because there's a lot of people really down in pain with such huge, enormous potential, and they are just using that mind against themselves, not to create. And it was happening to me. Since I was a kid, I felt okay. I'm smart. I mean, clever. I I was the best in school. I had a lot of thoughts and imagination and skills. I can read the person. I can read the situation. But just there's something wrong with me. I thought I was broken since I was born, and since I remember, just about 5 years ago, I wishing to die from every single mistake I thought I had, and this is so hard for a kid. I mean, you know, about when we are kids, the people normally thinks, okay, that's a fun time and there's no worries and something like this. But for me, I was in real pain inside me, inside my head, and this is the power of the beliefs. When we use it wrong, we can create pain and suffering, and I was doing with me because I'm not consciousness about it, and this is what it happened with you. I mean, I'm never ever. I'm never ever are I'm not speaking. I mean, I'm not speaking what we deal in your life was soft. It's not about it. It's not just about it. It's just about um we are we are bigger than our issues, you know?
Yeah,
We are really bigger than our issues.
I
It
was
was
thinking that a few times.
I'm
Yeah.
meaning. So I I had a lot of time to discover to figure out this. And since I was 11, I was hearing about we are God, our mind is powerful, and I just reinforced that thought. Okay, if we are God, if our mind is powerful, I'm just damn broke. I'm just broke.
Something must be wrong with me. If I mean,
Yes,
even
something.
even the Bible says, right? Even Jesus said, "Vós sois deuses," right? You're thy are gods, right? And you can do big,
Everything.
right? Everything, bigger things like this. So now, imagine you being a screwed up child, like a bunch of problems. So what are you gonna think? It's like, okay, well, I'm definitely broke because I
Yes,
don't feel like a god at all, right?
yes. So I was just like a sword, but the most part of my life, I was in burning hell. You know, as the forge process with the sword, you have the worm in the fire, and then heating with the hammer, and then water, and then fire and hammer, fire, water, hammer, and then the sword can be able to be used, right? And a good sword um, cross a lot of this fire and water hammer process, and which can be a little painful. But I just discovered we have this power, and for some reason we just have to learn the real need and the real importance of this power. And for some reason, deal with this may connect us with other people around us. Because in real fact, and I'm doing by my personal experience, because I have some meeting with people around the world in different countries. It's just you and US. I'm now in a process with another woman in US, but in woman in Germany, and I was in France, Portugal, Luxembourg, a lot of countries around, and there's a lot of suffering, and it's just not different. It's almost the same pain people are dealing, almost the same pain, literally almost the same pain. And this is interesting because today there's a lot of people faking perfect lives, and I mean it can be possible, but just if you can really manage it, all these things in the proper way, you know. And having all these issues brings me some kind of clear mind to seeing you, the real you. And despite all this pain, I was a really connected kid too, a really connected kid. I often heard inside of my heart some voice or some feeling I was greater than I was thinking I was. I don't know if was correct. I was greater.
You had
And I
always
thinking I was.
you had always that
Yes.
feeling that there's something greater. You had the understanding of something bigger.
Yeah.
You
I was
couldn't
bigger.
experience it, but within you intuitively, which I can also uh, attest to that, and I can also say that always I felt that it's something bigger always happening. It's just that I can't figure it out. I couldn't rationalize it, and that's a problem. The problem is the mind, the rationalization, and that's where the pain comes, where we trying to understand something with a device that is not made to capture that reality. It's made to, it's made to be operating in this reality, right? And not everything can be rationalized away, But continue.
Uh, I have a phrase which means all the troubles begins with your mind, but all the solutions too. The problem isn't the mind. The problem is use or not use your mind properly. And I think the real meaning about it is we cross a lot of pain. And I really wanted, if you are able to do, to give us some specific details about your history. Because when we just listen, you are broken uh, when you are a kid. Maybe it can be clear for the people. And if you do it, I will do it too. Because we have to have a point to get the difference, uh, to have this process in the proper way to be clear for the people, you know. And thank you, Andre Augusto, for the congratulations from me and Enéa. Thank you, Raíssa Beatriz. Thank you, Divino Ferreira de Borba. Thank you, Mauro Henrique Melo. Thank you, Luciana Patrão. Thank you, Kleber Pires. We have a lot of people watching us right now. And I don't know if you really understand what I said before. I really believe you have the power to bring people to light from the darkness. And the part of this process, uh, it shared your story from the bottom to the top. You know, you don't have to be literally too specific, but just in the context things for people understand, and then we can start to speak about your transformation and your higher self meeting and all the stuffs we are had ready to talk about. What do you think about it?
Yeah, sure. So, if I understood correctly, you'd like me to go over some main uh, things that happened in my life, in my childhood, and to kind of bring it at a common point for us together, where we discussing things that would make sense to not just both of us, but to others, right? And is that more or less
Yes, is that more or less?
okay?
The point is, there is one only one difference between you and me,
Right,
and this difference is I just started before you to do what I'm doing.
right.
It's just this the only difference. You know, you have the same power, you have the same skill, and I am sure about you will help people on your own way.
Yeah, and that's a good point you bring, and that makes me think like, why the hell would I wait so long? You know, why is this guy from Brazil better than me? You know, so but my story is that I moved quite a bit in my life, and I always had a unstable ground under my feet, right? So I was born in Albania, which was an extreme uh, communist dictator totalitarian regime that would not let anything come in or out for the first 8 years of my life. So I lived in a very surreal reality. I still have some. My son is crying. Um,
Oh, I will try to help him.
yeah, I would just send him some. It stopped. Wow, good job. See, guys, you have a live, example of how
Live
powerful
performance.
mental technology is. And
Yes.
just to go back on what you were saying earlier, um, like we have the most powerful device in the universe, which is more powerful than ChatGPT, um, virtual reality, supercomputer, quantum computer, and we don't have a manual. How screwed up that is. I try not to drop any f bombs. I can help because I'm from New York. New York City people have dirty mouths, but it's insane. Like if you think about it, religions taught us, they gave us a manual, so to speak, but it was a very, it's like chapter one of the manual, and I think there is, I don't know how many, right? Infinite maybe. So like even what you did is like my son stopped crying the moment you said he was gonna stop crying. Most people look at it as like, oh, it's just coincidence, right? And it might be just a coincidence, but once you delve more into this world of the ability we have to interact and make our reality when in a conscious way, that's when you really connect with your conscious and subconscious mind and understand that we are 100% responsible. I do believe in the 100% responsibility that we are the creators of our existence, right? And if we are like what Jesus say, if we are gods and we co-create this reality, then eventually we realize that the 100% of what's happening to us is our existence, including the parents we chose, including 100% of responsibility includes everything. What happened to you, every single thing. For some reason, I heard that term of responsibility, and I adopted it because if you're responsible for your life, then why can't it be 100% of it? Why is like, oh, maybe that 2.5%, it's not you, it's up to God. you know if God wants, god if God forbid something happens, like like we have this in our daily vernacular, daily language, always assigning responsibility to somebody else, a Donald Trump or Bolsonaro or Marçal. Faz um M, gente, come on, let's go. But yeah, so I lost my train of thought there. So yeah, mental technology. I wanted to say something else before, going back to my life, right? I extreme communism, man, that just collapsed overnight. I was in the middle of that insane reality where all the people were so enraged of 45 years of dictatorship where we were not even free to practice our religions, which is one of the reasons why Albania is very open to religions now, that all kinds of religions are accepted and they coexist in an amazing way that uh, many countries in the world haven't achieved yet. So Albania is quite a unique country. Like you should visit. You know, maybe I should make a collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and promote it because it's quite an interesting study. And so now imagine 45 years of oppression and people wanting to finally revolting. Started with the student revolt. Of course, CIA sponsored. Of course, the United States or the big overlords decided that communism, it's up, right? It's time to drop the Iron Curtain, and of course, the students were so there. These people always had their fingers in all the world events, but nevertheless, Albania eventually opened up their borders. There was huge mass migrations. The infrastructure collapsed. There was riots on the streets, shootings on the streets. I remember myself being in the middle of those protests. I remember to this day, like the barrage of stones being thrown at police officer with helmets and like with shields and tear gas, and like I was like hiding behind remember a padaria, like a bakery behind the stove.
Bakery.
Yeah, behind the stove, and like my heart was going like boom, 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 like racing. I was like I didn't even know what I was doing there by myself. Like my parents weren't even worried, I guess. Like where the hell was I? Because I used to tend to go roam around myself. Thankfully I lived in an era that you could do that, and I could fend for myself. There was no cars, or there was cars, but I could manage myself around. And somehow I left the home and I went to the center of the city, and there's a riot. Fast forward, 1997 was another riot, another civil war that happened. There was a huge uh, sort of uh, a banking scheme, courtesy of US&A. It was a pyramidal scheme that took advantage of a population that was very ignorant of finances because we were a communist regime, and they took advantage of that. So there was another traumatic time where there was riots, tanks on the streets. I was in the crowds where they were looting. So anyway, like all the memories cascading back, and the work that we're doing together has connected in more with the memories that I've suppressed, and for a good reason. Because God, like I'm going back to memory lane now, and this memories are traumatic, and our intelligence subconscious system knows to keep us away from these thoughts. Imagine if we were always every day had flashbacks. We go around like this, and we're shaking. That's the reason why we have an immune system, because it otherwise would not bear under the weight of extreme gruesome events in our life. And I've been through some really effed up situations. So that's another situation, another riot, tanks on the streets, weapons on the streets. Somebody decided, or the opposition decided it's a good idea to open the army's weapons deposit. So everybody went and armed themselves, and there was bazookas on the streets. There were guns. I remember at the time, my father had brought me a tennis racket from the U.S., and I was in love with the racket. I loved the sound of the ball and the string. So I was hitting the ball outside on the wall, and there was bullets ricocheting from the ground. And my friends were coming with guns, and like this guy said, came to me with a gun and pointed to my head like this, and then just shot on the on the sky. And like it was like it's insanity, right? So I went through that, and then I moved to in '97. My grandma, which is kind of did like a hero move, like said, okay, school was out. That was extraordinary situation. There was curfews, so after 7 p.m. you couldn't go out. I had a schoolmate. This is girl that had like a crush with. It was like a puppy crush type thing where I was really consumed by that. So from one day to the other, I left everything that I knew. I left it behind. All my friends, I was 14 at the time. I was an adolescent. All my friends, all of my life, including my girlfriend, which we were not official. We were like kids, right? I even remember going out of the curfew time where there aren't people on the streets, so I can go to her home, so I can let her know, because even the phones would not. I couldn't even get her on the phone. And left her a card and said I'm leaving, and she didn't even come to the door. It was her dad. Talk about traumatic stories, you know. It's like, I go to Greece, which is, you know, a country that I thought I belonged to, but apparently I wasn't accepted as one of their own. I am, I was called as a Greek person as a kid. Like everybody assumed that I had the Greek origins. My grandparents are Greek; they spoke Greek, and I assumed an identity of a Greek person. Yeah, can you make that stop? Thank you. So this one a little bit more stubborn. I have to.
I will help.
He's the younger one. He's very.
He's a little bit anger right now.
He's got anger issues, just like his daddy, but maybe a little worse.
No, I'm helping. Keep
You did?
going, keep going. I was still helping.
Yeah, yeah. No, it helped. It helped. It stopped. But so fast forward, I went to Greece. I wasn't, uh, you know, I was in Greece. I was Albanian. In Albania, I was Greek, right? And so I was neither after all. And in Greece, I was discriminated because I was Albanian. Like I'm not even a black person to be discriminated on, but just because they could tell I was Albanian, I was discriminated on. Because at the time, there's all kinds of political stuff. There's all this political bullshit, and I was caught in a storm. The media always talking bad things, Albanian doing crimes, this and that. So I was the, I was, I couldn't. I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid to approach girls, or like, and I was hiding the fact I was Albanian, and I had to learn Greek very fast so I can hide the fact that it's called Albanian. So I have a lot of stories. I know we don't have time. We can go back to the point. Um, but I went through some stuff, and I guess, like you said, some things, there's no way to rationalize it. Like why I had to go through that? Why the hell did I choose to be born in Albania in 1982 in a communist regime? I could have been born anywhere else, but I chose to be there. So going back to what I wanted to say to begin with, it took me a while, because of these experiences. Then I went to, eventually in 97, I stayed in Greece, like around in 99 or 98. Like, I reconnected with my father, which I was in touch with, which had escaped before the communism had before the country was opened up, and almost got killed by the soldiers in the borders, whatever. So he opened the process for us to go in the United States. Eventually, I went in the United States in 2001, in June, and then in December, 9/11 happened. The world isn't the same anymore. So I never had a steady ground. Like I never thought that stability was a thing for me, right? So I never bothered to start anything or roots about anything, And all this developed since I moved to US. I developed this suspiciousness. I always had the suspiciousness before, but when I went to US, I said things don't make sense. And then I got into conspiracy theories. I learned about the Illuminati. I learned about the banking system, and then I got even more depressed. So I can go on for 2 hours just telling my stories. I have a lot to say, but the point is, I am here now. I survived, and there is a purpose. And maybe in the next session you can help me figure that out, because I don't. I'm not very clear on what it is, but what I'm clear about, and I'm getting signs, is that I'm here to help other people and to use my experience and my insight to give perspective uh, to others, and to help in any way.
Yes, for me, you are a hero. You just didn't figure out yet.
That's worse. People have gone through worse stuff.
I think the comparison isn't the better thing to do, but for me, it might be a little bit strange for you, probably, but for me, my life um, was a little bit easier than yours, which means for me, you are more like powerful than me because you crossed the danger line with guns and war and all this issues, and you are here telling me, telling us your history, and I'm you are telling, and I was just remembering when you told me that story, you was crying. I don't know if you remember this. When you told me that story and that history at or not the first moment, but the second moment, you are just crying during the process, and I was telling you, okay, Enea, take a deep breath and let's clean it clean it out, and then you okay, I will trust in you and let us see what will happen. And which means it a little bit curious. You are not crying, telling us this history. Do you even remember how hard it was for you before we start the process?
Remember how hard it was for me to for what the process that we're
To
doing?
tell that story, that
Yeah,
history about your life.
yeah. A lot of things. I was having a hard time, accessing my memories because my subconscious had done a very good job to suppress it for apparent reasons, right? And anybody
Yes,
watching this, so we can do some shorts. And by the way, don't forget to like and share and comment, so then Facebook or YouTube can give us some relevance. But
yes.
uh, like that's what the power of visualization, through visualization, and you are guiding me. And by the way, people should understand that if you're not willing to go through this process, if you're not willing to change your life as if it will kill you, as if it's no other option, like you won't change because your brain is designed to keep you safe, not to keep you thriving and evolving. So you have to go against a system or mind that it's designed to keep you surviving. So that's why there's the living dead and the zombies. Those are the people that still hang on to pain. They can go in their 80s, 90s, and they still live their mediocre life and never really address the issues, never really face the pain. And because who wants to do that, So our system does a very good job to suppressing it. So, and you use that visualization and the the hypnosis, although it's not an hypnosis. I don't like hypnosis. I don't like to be put down because you can tell I have some trust issues from the experience I had in my life. So I would never trust anybody with my mind, right? So, and it's not that you did that. You weren't like, go breathe slow and lower your, like the, breathe slowly, deeply. I mean, you're doing that, but it's like, oh no, don't think of anything. Try to like relax. You didn't do that. You didn't tell me to just fall asleep or like go to the
No,
hypnagogic or anything like that,
no,
And
this is bullshit.
I've done a therapy. I did a session with somebody in New York, and it was a first session was a long one, and the whole process was just putting me down, like putting me into like a meditative, like in a in like a hypnotic state, right? Which that's what hypnosis means. By the way, the word hypno or hypno in Greek, since I'm Greek as well, means sleep, right? So I don't think that's what you do, but let's call it hypnosis, because you don't really do hypnosis. Um, but it is hypnosis. It belongs in the category. It just doesn't utilize lower frequencies. You are able to maintain accelerated frequencies, even though you close your eyes, and when you close your eyes, immediately you see a drop in your frequency, in your mental frequency, just by closing your eyes. But through visualization, you can accelerate it to whatever you want it, and you can do whatever you want. So going back, you were walking me through the process, visualizing, right? You're helping me visualize uh, a plan of action, or like put me into a frame of mind that I would be going following your guide. I would be accessing my subconscious, and I had a lot of difficulty at the time, but because my commitment with myself, I didn't just back up. My mind didn't try to negotiate with me or convince me. My mind was trying very hard to do that, but because the power of decision that I made, I was able to overpass the racket of my mind, the manipulation that the mind does. Oh, don't go there, and then it gives you excuses or this and that. But then you said, okay, it's okay. We're gonna go to another plan, another strategy. Like I was in visualizing that you even at some point without giving out too much, but you're telling me like or get into this bowl, like or like this kind of like a space or like a cosmonaut, or like I forgot the name I called it in my own head, but it's like a cosmonaut, and I was a cosmonaut inside my head, accessing areas that my mind had blocked. So I was hitting walls, literally. And you said, okay,
Literally.
you hit a wall. Now the wall was on the bottom, right? So now you go in this ball or this spaceship, whatever you want to call it. I thought I was in a ball, my bolia, which is our technology,
Bubble.
bubble technology. If the people, by the way, who haven't seen the movie called La Belle Verte, it's a French-made movie. You should watch it, maybe tonight with your wife. It's a French production. I'll send you the link, or you can put it in the descriptions there. That's the first time I saw the concept of the ball. Like these people come from another dimension with the ball and come to Earth to help the sick people. So the way I was able to access my subconscious to get to where I needed to get to, I had to make all this imagination in my mental screen, and my breakthrough was where I went through the dark territory, or the dark hallways of my mind, and like I access, and I really dove deep into the dark spot, which is the wall that the subconscious had created for me not to access. And then I as an explorer of my own mind, I went down there to explore, and it's like a movie, and it's a scary place, right? I didn't know what's gonna find there. Just to give you an idea what the hell we're dealing with here. It's not it's the mind is an amazing thing, and you call your channel Tecnologia Mental, because uh, everything there is the mind, right? And the mind is a complex structure that it's not located just in this brain. It's not just that. The mind has layers and layers and layers of our human system, our human design, our biomagnetic fields that can cross space and time, and interact with various dimensions and lifetime. But let's not get there. So that was my experience. I was like exploring, like in the movies, like Avatar or some shit like that.
Nice. It's a nice example, like Avatar.
And I'm not trying to embellish it or make it like sound pretty. It is really like that. So you have to be willing to. It might be the hardest thing you do. It's easy to jump from a plane with a parachute. It's I think it would be easier than this.
Yes. Uh, I have a little bit of commotion right now because you just made it clear for me how strong you are decided to change it. And you told me before, but I think now it's more clear because there's a lot of people with this kind of analytic mind addiction to get a lot of distraction. Oh, don't go, don't go, don't go. There's a lot of lies because I often teach for my patients and people I'm mentoring. The ego is not the enemy. The ego is we can explain in this way. The ego is like the dark side of the. Do you know yin yang symbol that yin yang, which has a black side and a white side with a point of dark in the white side and the point of light in the.
That's
So the
a
ego.
that's a yin yang symbol.
Yin yang, yes, yin yang. The ego is almost an analogy as the dark side, and it works in a paradoxical way. And the only a simple way to deal with it is understanding uh, wherever thing he says, you have to do the opposite. And this is the dark side of yin yang, the ego. But he's your friend, you know? And the higher self is the light side. And the light side will always communicate with you in the good words. Oh, you have the power because you have. You have the power because you have. And you have to don't worry. Don't worry. And you are God and something like this. Just my Instagram shoot it down. Oh, I can fix it. That is no problem. Um, and in the fact, your ego is always trying to test your confidence, your power of decision, and your higher self is always trying to push you up. But it doesn't mean your higher self are lying to you. In the same way, it doesn't mean your ego are lying to you. They just work in the different way. You know, when you start to see your ego as your friend, you learn. You don't have to get it so seriously, but you start to act the ego with good eyes, you know. And I know how hard it can be. The a strong analytical mind trying to get answers and more answers and being suspicious all the time. And I really know. I mean, I really know how hard is the path you just got, and it is the reason I am with a little bit of emotion right now because I think this word, this meaning you already said, about the struggle with your mind trying to get you out for the from the healing process, and you okay, I just decided and I will do it. I will go through it, and you just felt how great it was after doing it. I mean, uh, you can speak about it better than I. Which was the meaning of this for you? Just about the very first session, because we had two, and tomorrow we will have another one, and our plan is talk about every step of your process. Um, and I think I know I don't know if I was watching it as a normal, common person, not as a therapist or partner. You, I just was touched for this testimonial. You just because I was in the same path not so long ago, and if I don't know how the mind properly works, I probably still trapped in this this way.
Yeah,
It
and
was really good.
yeah, I appreciate. Thanks for sharing that. And when we start talking, like I you told me that
Hello, you just freezed.
yeah.
Probably
By the way,
probably you are listening. Okay,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
again.
So I froze because we are going through a hurricane right now. So anytime the power might go out, it's it's the hurricane is full blown right now. There's high winds,
Oh,
so it's a bit crazy. So um, yeah, going back when we spoke down, it's like you told me, like the mind is like a maze that we get lost in, right? And
yes,
we need that person to grab our hand and walk us through the right channels of the maze so we can get out of it, because that's its mind is like a matrix, right? The mind matrix. And if we don't know how to use it, like I got to this point, like talking about making the decision. That decision came, like you also touched on how you started before me. I'm like 42. I should have done a lot of things, but I got stuck in my mind maze, in my repetitive thinking, and unconscious state of helpless to understand how, and too smart for my own good to try to work with anybody, because I thought I was the smartest of all, right? And but I guess if it's not for love, it's for pain that you change. And I knew I needed help, but when we went through the process, specifically going back to the process, um, like you were guiding me, but at some point I could have, if I wasn't committed strongly enough, as if my life depended on it, I could have chosen to sabotage what you're guiding me towards. So eventually I made the decision. I said, and I was doing that for myself, right? Because you cannot help somebody that doesn't want to be helped,
yes,
right? So, and most likely there's people that come to you because they're in pain. They want you to do something for them, but they still haven't decided to let go, right?
yes,
And you can't help them. And sometimes it's frustrating because you see it, you know that you can help them, but they don't do it, and you tell them, but and they still, I guess, they still have to go through their process. But because I
mm,
decided, I said this shit ends now, and get me out of this jailbreak. um, then I was able to like guide myself and say and take myself in charge, my own mind or my own vision of myself, and taught myself what to do because you were there. You had thrown uh, the lifesaver in the water right from the ship, but I knew there was a ship there and there's a lifesaver there. Now I needed to guide myself to swim, right? Even though it's freezing
Right.
water, right? And but you say yourself, but it's okay, it's freezing water, but go, you know. Just to mention an analogy, but going back to the experience, it was like that. I had to say, okay, now I'm in this situation. How do I go through that? Okay, I'm gonna get into a bubble, and then I'm gonna use this bubble to cut through the darkness and travel down to the darkness so I can get somewhere, which I didn't know where it was, right? So just to make an analogy, that um, I did that, right, with your help. But if I,
Yes.
if I hadn't done that, nothing would have changed. And of course, there's a lot more stuff out there. But this is a one breakthrough, and it's endless layers of breakthroughs, like uh, and places to get to, right? But we're always going to encounter this wall. And no matter where you get, you're going to encounter the wall of terror. It's called. I don't know if you started the work of what's his name. I'll remember. But that um, recently died. That American guy, a Canadian guy, whatever. I'll remember his name. And he spoke about the terror barrier. You
Yeah.
no matter what level you're at, every time you start doing something new, you'll hit that wall. So you need to go through the process subconsciously to unlock that. And there's level and layers and layers. And even billionaires, for example, can experience lack or escasez, right, with some things. So we're just getting started. And yeah,
Can I make a little parenthesis? You are counting years, but not for your side, as you are late about this changing process, because I am younger than you, and I like to see for this point of view. You are getting stronger, and you deal with hard stuff, hardest than me. So you are growing a little bit more to do more impact with more power, and it's just a beautiful thing. It's not a defeat, it's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing because you are winning yourself in this process. You are overcoming all your suffering, despite all difficulties, all hard times, and the most important thing is you are ready now, and I really believe you will be a huge contribution for the world. You know, um, when I was a teenager,
hallelujah.
I when I was a teenager, I was always comparing me with others, and what I realized is if a life was literally a race, I was about the most part of my life in the last place, with my friends and people I knew along of my life. But suddenly, when I just had my click, I just have a really speed time, and then almost like I just teleport for the really nearby my end of the line in that race, you know. And I think I like this point of view, and it's not me being soft, it's me being realistic, you know, because you have to. I think you don't realize how hard is be you, and when you compare yourself with people like me, which means you got a lot of hardest struggling than me. You had to face really bigger things than me. And how can you be thinking you are late about me? I believe you are really strongest than me. You just didn't figure out it yet, and I'm really honored. I am helping you to see it on this way. I'm not I'm
Now
not
you're
tell
so
I'm not being soft. You know me. I'm not soft.
just kidding. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not soft. I'm just telling you the truth. You know. I like
you're
to do
powerful,
this kind of stream. Sorry to interrupt you. I really like to do that kind of streaming because we are always in a quantum correlation, and this is a therapy, some kind of therapy, and we are generating some kind of energy, and I'm seeing your magnetic field just changing, and sometimes I'm just translating your higher self, but sometimes I am just being really honest with you. You know, I really appreciate that, the opportunity to be here with you. Um, you have this such of power decision and this courage to get through it and to overcome all this thing and to inspire all people, and doesn't matter how many people will watch it, which one people be touched, we just did our work, and I am really happy about this. You know, you don't have to think you are late. You are in your own way, and this way is beautiful.
well, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you, and I do believe that you're coming where you're coming from. Shut up. And
Not shut up. Just be chill. Be chill.
just be
Relax.
chill, bro.
Yeah, just be chill.
Yeah. So I also did a lot of comparing, and you know speaking of our experiences, dimensionals, there's aware dimensionals or somewhat aware dimensionals that need to be more aware, more walk. But I've always had this sense of like I'm late, like I need to get somewhere and right away. Like I know this is not it. I know I need to get somewhere better. Like I'm going from one place to another, collapsing one regime, collapsing one system, collapsing twin towers. Like it's like it's crazy. Like always trying to get somewhere, and obviously now I realize what that was. But in a way, it may be different for some people, and this podcast is not for everybody. So if you don't understand anything, see you later. But later on, will attract the type of people that will feel like us, and they and the feeling is that there with so much time is wasted, right? So obviously that's not a good thing to vibrate on, that you're late, and it adds anxiety. But I was in a way killing myself, like why am I not doing all the things that I know I want to do, and what's blocking me? And sometimes you just have to trust that you have to go through some processes, because we don't have control of our lives. We think we have control, but uh, nothing major that happened in my life was because my own volition, like my own choice. So in a way, if you want to talk about determinism or destiny, some things are just meant to happen for us, and we just have to trust and just go through the motions. And when you, like when you said about the click, when the clicks really clicks and understands, then all of the anxiety and the conflict, the inner conflict, goes away, and they just learn how to surrender and to flow, and to just fulfill your destiny in the most peaceful, neutral, and easy easy way. um, and yeah, and do the work. So I the work that I did is now paying off. Like I'm now able to do things that before I was just like too um, tripped up to do. Like sit down, I didn't have no focus. I just had this inner feeling here. Things were all screwed up. So here we are.
Hmm. Do you know, in order to build a home, a regular home, you have a sort of time, right? But in order to build a huge castle, you need more time,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think you are building a huge castle. So this is why you needed more time. So as a huge castle, you will be great and strong and able to hold and keep warm a lot of people. And the most important thing is right now you are ready and you are proving you are ready. And this is inspired. I'm just inspired. I'm seriously get inspired by your decision because this is the hardest part of the process. When we started, I just tell the people three or four advices. The first one, you need to have a decision to change. You have to do it. The second one, you have to follow my instructions. The third, you have to pay me because I never work free paid.
That's
Never.
the hardest
Never
part.
ever. Yeah. That is the easiest part
It's the easiest part.
because the most part of people have money but didn't have the willpower to change. They are almost literally paying me to bring me excuses. Oh, I don't want to do this or that. And okay, my job is bring some mind, clearly mind consciousness to bring these people out to the dark for the light. And in the very most part of the time, I win this game. I win this game, you know. And you just started since the very beginning with the willpower on, and you keep going. And I remember you bring me a lot of questions because you are triggered and you are fearing to have a another try. And fearing it can be pointless for you, you bring me a lot of questions. And I remember to always repeat for you, but you, bro, if you are ready to do it, it will done. And you was the most part of time confused. Oh, but how can you fix me? How can you fix me? I have 41 years of issues, struggling, and a lot of crazy things in my mind. And how can you fix me? And I was always watching you like this. Oh man, this guy can even imagine how powerful he is. Why? Why didn't he can notice that? Why? And I was sometimes I was frustrating to not be able to show it to you, show it up to you, you know. But sometimes I was okay. It will works because uh, I'm always in contact with your higher self, and he's really proud of you. And you know, it's not my words because he already spoke it to you. And what you think about to speak a little bit about that meeting with your higher self? In the first time was in the sea, right? Because the sea is a great place for you.
Yeah, that was actually the visualization you brought me. Yeah, you were walking me through, right? Um, and that brought me to the memory of my interaction with the higher self. And if I can just make a parenthesis, a lot of religious or Christian or Cetic Cetic, um, whatever.
Septic people
Yeah, a lot of people.
with
Yeah,
sexism?
yeah, they call it, oh, God spoke to me, God this, and everything is God, right? Which is,
Yeah.
it kind of is, right? But um, not that many of them can tell exactly, well, how God spoke to you, and was it verbal, was it visual, was it inside your head, was it telepathic, was it like, I've always had this problem, like I wanted to, like I didn't understand, I almost felt too dumb to you know to ask questions, because it just, some things didn't make sense to me, right? And now, of course, I know that uh, people were not very ingenious, like, or disingenuous, right? They're not honest, and they'd rather live in a lie than try to go after the truth, which never really worked for me. Which is another thing why it took me so long, because I could have been part of many different societies. I got even approached by the Illuminati. Did I tell you that? No, it's another lie.
No, did you didn't
I did. The Illuminati club approached me, and they wanted to pay me a bunch of money so I can and do
escape
their.
from day, escape from day.
And I think just by my answer, they saw that I wasn't the type of fish to catch. But they did. I have the message. I hope I saved the messages. Um, but what was I? Yeah. So what was I talking about before? I lost my train of thought.
You was talking about your interaction with your higher self
Right.
and how can people uh, often think it's about God, but
Yeah.
without really knowing which
Right.
it really is.
So when we did that visualization, where you were attempting to connect me with my higher self, I eventually did connect my higher self, and it manifested in this form of a light being. And then that brought me into a time where I went through this other very impactful time in my life, probably more on the negative side than the positive, where I had I think I explained to you, where I had a mental breakdown after being 3 days of in without sleep, in insomnia, in this island of Corfu in the year 2000. I guess I was in that insanity of the year and the end of the world type propaganda, always designed to. But anyway, and then I took a pill and I went into this weird state of being, so like out of my center, and was kind of out of my body. It was like almost like near death experience, and that's when to make a long story short, I was in a dark place, lost. I couldn't connect with my body. I didn't know where I was. I was in this dark room, and then I was in with no idea what to do. I was very conscious, like I was feeling myself in this like dark space. I could feel everything in my around me, and I just didn't know where to go. And when it got to the point where I was getting, I think the lowest frequency, if you want to call it that, the lowest point in somebody's life is helplessness. Imagine like when you're in a place where you felt like nothing can help you, not even God, or like nothing can help you, helplessness. And then when
Helplessness.
I felt,
Yes.
felt that emotion, I started to just drop into this like abyss. It's like, okay, this is it. It's like, when you're drowning, like Jack is freezing and just went down in the water with the Titanic. It was kind of like that. And that very moment was I just dropped and decided to like, okay, I'm helpless. It's over, right? That's the moment where I went in the dark, and then this bright light came into my existence to brighten up my down, my dark place, like
Darkness.
my darkness. It was like a sunrise. It was like whoa, like in the movies, whoa, the sun. It was like the first time I was seeing ever a sunrise, right? Type thing. And then this bright light turned into a form eventually that to me resembled like Jesus, right? So uh, fast forward, I realized that this apparition or this interaction or it can be even interference or intervention
Intervention.
may have been my higher self coming to me and
It
consulting,
was.
right?
It was.
Yeah, I say may because I don't know everything. It might be a possibility, it might be something else, but it was an intervention, divine intervention, but that was God or Jesus, right? For me, it had a form of Jesus, was a beautiful golden type being with super blonde golden hair, long hair, and like I could see details. I could even see his mouth speaking, and but the mouth goes like this, talking, and I couldn't hear it. At some point, like I had the mouth was talking, but I could not hear the rest. This is my memory. I just heard the part. I just remember the part that it told me you're gonna be okay. That's all I wanted to know, if I'm gonna be okay, because I was drowning in the darkness, right? And then eventually that shifted into something else, and then hours later I like wake up, like I thought I was awake, but I was in the middle of like wakefulness and in like this weird state of reality, and like I was see outside of the bus. I was still in the bus, like literally things shifting, like the reality shifting around. It was like a psychedelic trip. Probably I was high on something. Like I don't know what this thing that they gave me. It was a sleeping pill, but must have been some crazy shit, crazy shit. Um, like man, this pharmaceuticals are crazy, and I'm super sensitive, so it probably just blew me up out of my brain. So that was my interaction with my higher self, perhaps, right? Uh, I'm pretty convinced, but I'm leaving that space for for another possibility. And it's a powerful thing because from that moment on, I wasn't the same person anymore. There was a before and after Christ. There was my experience before that and my experience after that. So I was changed forever, and that image was imprinted in my brain forever. I can access it at any moment. So um, so that was my experience with my higher self, I guess.
Oh yeah. just one thing. When you had it at your younger age, it was your higher self, literally giving you an intervention. And there's a curious thing about this channel we call mind, because this is a channel which we can really connect it with all realities. And when I mean all, I say all, I mean really all realities. All these theories, quantum physics are speaking about, and different space and times and all these stuffs, you know. And for you at this moment, um, this kind of image about Jesus um, was really important as a savior for you, and probably, and not probably, in fact, if you just see yourself, even in sparks of gold light, you didn't comprehend it as a awakening process, you know. And for you at this moment, seeing you, but through this Jesus vision, will be enough to bring you out to the darkness, bring you home. I mean, home inside yourself, inside your thoughts and feelings and emotions, will be the proper way for that moment. And when we are in our first session, your higher self just told me um, they had some kind of gift and some kind of codification for you. But at that moment, I just didn't know what is the meaning of this. But when you start to share with me this thing, I just got it, because sometimes we are not able to really understand it, understand some things we are going through. And that was one of this time. And I remember in that interaction we had together at the first session, one of the things your higher self just told you was he is literally always with you, and you have the power to change everything you want. And you just whoa, how can I change everything at that time? And he just said, don't worry, you have the power, and all the things you want will be fulfilled. And then you start to reorganize your life, to start your business and your new projects. And you had all this will to start this thing we are doing right now, to spread the seed, to share our experiences with the others. And it is really good, because I always heard about the higher self, but in fact, probably just a very few people in the whole world had this kind of experience. I mean, that kind of experience in the deepest way, because for the most part of people, and I just had this conversation by this afternoon with a girl who stays in some place in California. We were speaking how can people can can't even know themselves, and just trying to explain all these voices or God. I mean, how can you really be sure about this? I know, if you don't really know yourself, if you are not able to investigate yourself and your mind capacities, your brain capacities, and at this time I have to give you my opinion. That kind of stuff, which means our brain was developed to survive, is a lie. They wanted us to believe our brain is developed to achieve goals, you know? And till this 3 years ago, I was yet talking about the brain is dumb, but the brain is not dumb. They just works what you want it to works. And this is the God power inside of us. But the trick is you have to choose right what you was. The brain and the mind is almost as the earth. You can plant the seed you want, and the earth you bring back uh, the fruit you want. And the trick is they just don't let us learn properly how to choose the seed, and they are always trying to convince us to plant the wrong seeds, and we start to believe. And when we start to believe in it, you start to create it. Is that the belief system is a huge power or a huge trap, because literally what you believe is what you see. And this is why in Dakla we have a little wall with the phrase "believe to see." It's not see to believe, because your brain has a a little system called I have to remember this in English. Reticular activation system, with choose in the all universe of possibilities, choose the part you believe. You know, your brain are able to interact with 11 billions or millions of dates of pieces of information for 1 second. Your little guy, your little guy is there.
Say hello. Say,
Hello, little buddy.
say,
How are you?
show him your tooth that you lost your tooth.
You lost your tooth. Nice, nice.
Honey. Little honey bunny.
Uh,
Go. You made it on TV.
yeah. So as I was telling, as I was speaking, let me my mind. Then
Your activation system.
yes, the activation system just make us take a slice of this all information in the 50 pieces of information and bring it to your consciousness, you know and your consciousness, I mean, the all alert state, the analytical mind, is a small part, which often we we really think we are that small part of our minds. And we all had this kind of experiences when we have a key in our hands or pen or pencil or something like this, and we're just searching for it. Oh, where's my pen? Where's my pencil? Where's my key? And it's right here on your hands, but you can't see it. This is a negativation process which your brain are able to do. And here in
Yeah,
Brazil and all over the world, we have this guys doing uh, some kind of funny hypnosis when they often uh, make people believe an apple or something else, or some people are someone else. You know, this thing is that same process, the cognitive process of your mind, and your mind is doing this every single second, and in order to confirm your belief system, you know.
yeah, confirmation biases. It's a
Yes,
selective um, focusing or something like that, or elimination process. Like mind eliminates things, and you can, yeah.
yes,
And that's why there's
is
so many hypnotherapists out there that, or mentalists. I participate in quite a few like private sessions with mentalists, and it's quite amazing. And they're using this. They understand the mind, the subconscious mind, and frankly, those who are in charge, the system or the government, so to speak, for lack of better word right now, they understand how to manipulate us, and they do a very good job. That's why it's important for us to maintain to first to know our mind, maintain a certain discernment, and have be exercising our mind to so it can be aware of certain things that otherwise would come in our subconscious without us being aware, right? But there's a mass hypnosis happening every day.
every day. I like to thought about all the Virgos in different positions in the same phrase can change the meaning, right? And when I often share my job with people which have international experiences, sometimes they brings me some kinds of hypnotherapists or NLP programmers which working with FBI or this kind of secret organizations. And last time, about a month ago, I met some guy which are telling me the history about one guy which use hypnosis to make regression with people, uh, which was probably get abducted. And he's telling me about that histories, and I don't know if you are ready for this, people, but we have a real experiences with not extraterrestrial beings, but extra dimensional beings. And even this work
Also,
about
also
the
known as, angels in the Bible.
angels in the Bible, yes, the angels in the Bible. And they are really here to fulfill the prophecy, the real prophecy, not the Virgo's mistake process. They want us to believe. And
What do you mean by what is that word? Virgo? What?
Virgo's is a virgula,
Oh, Virgo. So
virgula,
uh,
Virgos.
coma.
It's not Virgos. Comma, not comma. Yes, comma,
Ah,
comma. Yes. When we have some comma in different place in the same phrase, we change the meaning, right?
right.
And this kind of comma may make the most part of people believe the angels will arrive again, the angels will come again, but most of them can't accept they already are here. And we had a lot of experiences with these angels. We will talk about this in next episodes, but not right now. I am just introducing this topic for you to think about it. And when they told me that kind of history about these professionals, I always think, there was a lot of commas missing. There are a lot of topics missing in this experiences and this histories. And if they had my point of view and my experiences, they probably see it, but they haven't. And this is what I decided to share these things, not for reclaim, oh, I am the best in this in this in this way. Even when I in my research have only one person besides me, which are able to do what I'm doing. And I mean Charles. Charles is one of the guy which are able to manipulating the mind as a hypnosis, as you said, in the higher level mind. And this brings to us a lot of new information, and this brings to us huge differences for analyze, for study, because you probably saw, I think, um, some testimonials in my mind technology channel on YouTube in Portuguese, when there are a lot of people relating experiences with their higher self, like this one. Told I will tell right now. I will explain. That girl from Japan. You saw? Did you saw it? When when uh, when she says she was literally in front in this trance, but it's not a trance. We are always in trance. Our focus, our normal state of mind is a trance, you know, and maybe people can understand this, maybe not, but all the states of mind are some kinds of trance, and this trance is specific. People call hypnosis. And when she was at that time seeing her higher self, she was with a lot of pain in his, I don't know this word, fígado,
Liver. She had pain in her
in her
liver.
liver. Yes, she was with a lot of pain in her liver, and she didn't tell me. And but when she was in front of her higher self, uh, it told her, "Oh, you have a little bit of stones, and I will touch you in the liver, and it will disappear. All the pain and the stones will disappear." And then after our session, she goes for the toilet and just let all the stones out of her body, and all that pain was gone. And she told me she was dealing with this pain, something about a month, or a month and a half month, you know, 45 days, something like this. And in just one instant, it's all over. And I had a lot of experiences with this, which for me is a huge proof about that kind of experiences, because we often uh, hear people, listen people speaking about, okay, God is talking to me, but what is the proof? How can you prove it? And last days, I did a live stream speaking about the ego and higher self and the real God. And in that live stream, I did the exercise, generating the frequency about for the higher self for people which were watching. And there was a guy which I had a sessions 1 year ago, and when he was in a talk with his higher self, told him a story about a money he will receive in a year, just in a year. And in 2 days ago, when we was in the live stream, he got another talk with his higher self, and his higher self already told him, but you will receive your money tomorrow. And believe, bro, that guy sent me a message. Hey, bro, did you remember about my higher self message about my money a year ago? In this year, I will receive that money. And 2 days before, we was in the live, and I had an experience again. And he told me, tomorrow you will receive the money. I have the money right now. And I told him, whoa, did you remember? I advised you to wrote this note and this information to compare and see for yourself if it's true or not. You know, this is a huge testimonial, and he's about to record a video for me, telling that story, that history. You know, it was a huge proof that it's real. It's a huge proof that it's real. Even some people are not able to believe they are here for us, because we are living in a special time with our God's connection, this higher self, our self future, uh, are in the proper way to straight this approach and get a conversation, uh, straight interaction. You know,
Right. So future self. You're saying the future self interfacing with us in a way that it's it, it it's real for our minds, but it's not a direct interaction, right?
is a direct
It's
interaction.
direct direction. So
Yes. Sorry.
no, go
Keep
ahead.
going.
I just
Uh,
I
you
might
just
I might have lost track a little bit of where you're getting, but basically, could you sum up where you're getting with this?
uh, look this. I will share with you. Let me let me find this. Let me find this, and I will translate for the people.
You can
And
share.
you, yes, I will share this. I will share this information, and you are my guide to guarantee for the people it is real because it is in Portuguese, and I have to translate for the guys
Yeah.
which are watching. Look at this. This was my live stream about higher self, ego, and God. And look at this specific quote here. The guys called Leandro Costa 999 was telling me, Cicero, I did the torment today, and I had an interaction.
Mhm. Let
What?
me translate. So it says, Caesar, I did a training today, and I had an
Training.
interaction with a man, and this man I already met personally. He already appeared in my home, and we spoke 10 years ago.
10 years ago. And then we have this, the second part.
So embrullado, I don't know what it means, but the same one brought, yeah, this one,
A package with pano,
a wrap,
pano in Portuguese.
it's a wrapped package,
Yes, something like this, a package
like cloth,
w- like
right?
this.
I see. Was three objects. Two of them were ofuscados. I don't know what that word is.
Uh,
And I did, yeah.
Blur.
It was what? What's the word?
It's something like blur, I think.
Ah, they were obscured,
Or
right?
not just like blur.
Well,
Do you
were
know when you have a light sparkling in your
right.
eyes?
Uh-huh.
That feeling is what it means, ofuscado.
Right. So basically, there was kind of was not blinded, but was covered, uh,
Shining. With
shining.
with yes, a huge
Yeah,
shining
was shiny, and I
light.
could not I could not see. And the other one was an adaga. This also I don't know what it is.
Yes, it's like a little knife.
I see. So it's like a little knife. Okay.
Yes.
So
So
what does all
do
mean?
you understood it? This guy had an experience with
Ten years ago.
probably his higher self, with a guy that he just met 10 years ago. When we remember some Dakla histories, we have that history about Marcelo and Rose when they told us that history when they had an experiences with the higher self of Marcelo in person, physically. He just met himself as some kind of clone, but was not a clone. Is was her his higher self in person.
They
In
appeared.
person. Yeah, I did live stream with a guy which lives in Paris, I think. This guy is called George Cordero,
Yeah.
and we have some kind of experience like this, and he just remembering the process when he was about 8 years old. He met a guy, and for him it was a trauma, but in fact was his higher self.
On yourself.
And at that time, Just in the live stream, he realized that energy was so huge that made he thought about this situation as a trauma, and he was even able to remember this. He's just don't remember who was this guy, but in that point, his higher self showed up and explained things for him, and just told him all that projects he was thinking about will be done, and part of it is already done at this time, and was it was really great, really great, because it was in life, alive, in a live stream. I mean,
Mhm.
I was telling to express myself properly.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, this is a subject that it's, you know, it has to come from experience for you to really understand. And I don't remember ever going to an experience like this, but um, I know enough for me not to question, not to question anything like this. And the more I understood myself, the more I learned, and in my journey, which, just to open a parenthesis, my life story that I was telling before had sort of, in a way, set me up, or set me in a trajectory where I, traveled to another continent, and went in the middle of the woods, so then I can discover something that would change my life, and something that I didn't discover in the biggest libraries in the world, for example, or like in with us, the smartest people in the world, or in the biggest institution of the world. I couldn't find, but I went in the jungle, pretty much, of Brazil, for me to discover that for myself. But going back, I know not to doubt that, because maybe I don't recall having an experience, or maybe I haven't had a personal experience yet. Although I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good sense that I have. I just My memory is somewhat about that is blocked. And as we go through this process of reconnecting with our past, we can access all of the moments that we've gone through, and we can. I'm sure in some of those moments, there could have been a person that showed up. I've had so many people, like, out of nowhere, like angels, right? Show up to me and tell me something that impacted me, or steered me in a direction, or steered me away from some problem. So the higher self, these interactions, physical interactions, are real, which just tells you how much, like you said, we live in a hypnosis, and we're perceiving a certain state of reality. But then there's a whole other multi-dimensional reality happening at the same time, that interacts with various dimensions at the same time. So the I think the world is not some place that you need to go out there and discover. The biggest discovery happens within us once we discover who we are and what we're capable of, and the capacity we have to um, interact with the divine, and multiple different dimensions at the same time, which is how I feel when I go to Dracula, right? I feel like not even Disneyland cannot provide me with the entertainment, or the depth of experience that I experienced in the vortex, or in that place, because there I feel connect with everything, the stars, the everything. And it's just a feeling you have to experience. But I know we're the energy is dropping here, we're getting a little tired, but we can, if you want to, you wish to respond to what I said, feel free. But let's just have the final considerations. And put these kids to sleep. Or it's still 9 o'clock. It's not that bad. It's been.
Yeah, I have I just one request before we end this first episode of our the Real Godcast. I think a real good history about this timeline interactions is do you remember when you go back in time through your early age and you met your little self in the past, just scared, suspicious, and you start to interact with him? Do you remember it?
Yeah, it's not that clear, but I do remember somewhat.
When we start, you saw
Yeah, I remember the.
huge,
Yeah, go on.
a huge place in
Yeah.
darkness, and you was like, okay, I see a lot of darkness and nothing more. And I told you, get dive in, and you'll be surprised by what you will figure out. And then a little bit more, you saw your little kid, and you start a talk with you and explain something and dealing with energy, healing, and something like this. Do you remember this?
Hmm.
Can you um, can you bring these experiences for us? And then I will explain this thing by this point of view.
I don't recall the exact the how it went and what conversation I did, but I was basically looking at myself and I was just saying those things. I don't remember what I said, but I was just just talking to myself and visualizing myself. And I think I know where you're getting with this, right? Uh,
Yes.
and where you're getting with this is that just like I did that, this can also be an equivalent of what it could be for us to jump timelines and go back and really interact, and time travel, so to speak, right? It's a form of time travel, and then be having an actual physical experience with our younger self at the time, which was not able to recognize us because we are in a different form. So that's a possibility if you look at quantum physics and the fact that time is relative, right? And it's not necessarily linear, and we can everything is happening every in the now, right? And the past, present, you know, beyond the third dimension, time doesn't really exist, right? So it's completely feasible and possible. I'm just not able to really walk through the experience. Maybe I am, in a way, I'm blocking that experience right now for me to go like and really describe it as a real experience because it wasn't quite there.
I think the point is how you felt the change
Right.
by speaking with you and being your own friend, because at that time in you at the early age, that feeling was most powerful, was about loneliness,
Right.
and you felt almost all the time there aren't not a single person able to comprehend you. And
Right.
this is what was hurting you at this moment. And then you hold yourself, and while you are holding yourself, you start to cry. Do you remember this?
Not right now. I'm not remembering.
Not right
Maybe
now.
maybe
I,
I'm tired, but if I at some other point, I'm actually gonna think about it later. try to walk through. But yeah,
Yes.
I'm blanking out right now. Maybe physically, maybe I'm getting tired too, so my memory is failing me. But I do remember that we went through this process. I just not able to reconnect with that right now.
Yes, you start to cry because
Yeah, and
you
there was
felt you
yes,
felt you you right here, which means for your younger you,
yeah,
you are the future you,
right,
was enough. Was enough.
yeah, and I even remember like feeling like a surge of energy leaving my body. Like I felt hot and like it was going out. It was a strange feeling.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes. And then after that, when you had a good conversation with your younger self, uh, you both go through to your higher self and had a little conversation and start to behold the process. It was really great. But don't worry, tomorrow we have another session and we
Another
will
we're gonna have
another
another
time traveling, another time traveling,
nice.
and
We don't need a
nice.
spaceship for that.
Yes, it
We
can
can
be
do it.
for the past lives tomorrow, maybe.
It's a lot of work in this life, man. So let's not waste my money on past lives. Just, I'm just
This
kidding.
life is just a small piece of you.
True.
Me, I have 4,050 lifetimes at this cycle. 4,050,
Lifetimes.
400, 400, sorry,
Oh, 400?
400,
Okay.
450 lifetimes here at this last cycle, about 525 years.
Right.
And probably you are almost there.
500, 5,000 or 500?
500 years. We have a cycle about 525 years, right?
Uh-huh. Or
And in this 5,000 years, I had 450 lifetimes.
right. And so in this cycle of 5,125 years,
Yes,
you had 450 lifetimes.
450 lifetimes.
Right.
And be surprised. I usually think I was broke, poor, and dumb in the most part of this life. And I got surprised when I realized I was pure powerful and had a lot of work done in the good way in this little place here we call Earth. And you, my friend, has the same path.
Well, I guess we'll find out. And you have worked closely with Casio, and Casio is the official Dakila orientators, and
Yes.
he has trained for years to interact and speak direct and physically with ultras and other ways too, and basically capture experience from previous lifetimes. Um,
Yes.
I've done 3 sessions. I don't know why I didn't do more sessions. I did 3 sessions with him, and the interesting fact is that the 3 different lifetimes that he spoke about, I had always a four letter word. So one lifetime was Turi. I was in a Hopi tribe member, shaman, alchemist, healer type thing. Another,
Nice.
another lifetime was Enzo, also 4 letters. Italian, Enzo Benedetti. This one he even told me was in the late 1700s. He even told me to research it because it's within the recorded history. So it could have been a good case um, of like proving my previous experience. And I was a merchant, Italian merchant, operating in the U.S., living in Canada, right?
Oh,
And he also spoke of another lifetime as a Phoenician, which I also was a merchant. So
Phoenician.
I've done shit in my previous lives. I don't know why this lifetime I had to be so humiliated, but there's a reason thing. Must have been a big like one of those powerful people that need a lesson on their previous life, so they can be nothing in the previous life on their next life, so they can experience the opposite.
Sometimes it's good to remember how powerful we truly are to get proper comparison and comprehension. We have to compare ourselves with the best part of us, not the worst. This life is just a small piece of us, and it's a mistake. We can think the whole thing about us is just a lack of time. It's a small piece of time for us, and this is um, a a good point for us to reconnect with our higher selves. To remember what we really are, to get us out of this small point of view and bring us out to the sky where we can watch the whole situation and the right point of view. But okay, we are about 2.5 hours and we both are tired. I think this was a great experiences for me, and I will be better in my English because of it. I have a curious thing about this. I never ever studied English before, but my very last life, I was an Englishman, which was studying Egyptology. And this is how I can speak this English. I just remember since I was a kid. Nice, huh?
That's crazy. You
Crazy.
basically cheated on getting lessons or learning. It just came naturally to you. It just
Just came naturally. I often there's 5 months or something about I buy a English course, but I didn't have time enough to study. But I try, and I have to improve it, and I will.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're doing great, and I think something that we didn't mention is that the and it was a wish of yours is to reach more than the U.S. crowd because I believe honestly in Brazil the Brazilian community has amazing YouTubers and podcasters with amazing information, including Dakila has when I discovered Dakla, there was really almost nothing, and then eventually the YouTube era exploded, and the pandemic accelerated it a lot. But honestly, I don't think it's the knowledge that Dakila is bringing that has blessed our lives and has changed our lives in a drastic way. Is rare still, and it's
Really
obviously
rare.
yeah, it's a lot of good stuff out there, and we I don't pretend to just be the snob that says, "Oh, your stuff is." Everything has value when it comes to the thing that I wanted, that I was looking for a long time, because I was searching, to save my miserable existence and to give any meaning to it. I wanted to know what's up. I wasn't satisfied anymore with this mysticisms and people being satisfied in calling something, oh, God spoke to me, or how Moses was able to separate the waters, and like this. Like I want to know what's up. Like, tell me, you know. And all the religions in the world like get you to the source, but they never give you water to drink from.
Never.
Never.
Because if you drink the water, you will be free.
Right. And that's not what they're designed to do. They're designed to get you distracted, and then they twist it on you and they get you screwed up and you don't get anywhere. So in
Yeah.
this lifetime, I got smart enough after 460,000
This lifetime.
years. And I said, not this.
Yes.
So
Not
I said,
this time.
not this time, my friend. And it just shows like the interesting times that we're living, right? This is, some people say it's the last generation or whatever, this religious people, but it is a powerful time, and our generations is blessed or cursed with this responsibility of a quantum, the possibility of a quantum evolution, where we can um, move towards, or ascend, or go to do bigger and better things that our sensory as ancestors couldn't even dream before. Or maybe they were dreaming, it just they can see uh, they couldn't find evidence of it. So yeah, so I think the U.S. community, United States needs it. I was connected with the ufology circles and spiritual New Age people, and like there's a lot of circles, and there's a lot of confusion, right? And Dracula brings everything together. Of course, there's a whole other world to know, but you're only limited by the level of awareness and consciousness that you have. And if you're really an evolved person, you will receive the equivalent amount of knowledge and information and experiences if you actually even go there physically. So this is an invitation for whoever will be watching this video in the future, at least like a short version of it, um, to learn more about Dakila and seek knowledge, as our main guy Udi Bell says.
I am sure we are blessed because with guys with us and Urangir and all our group, the world has a large group of heroes. I believe in you.
Man, yeah, if there's any hero or Angier, is like doesn't even compare. Like the guy, what the guy has done is it's
He
clear.
always says, he always says, we are the same.
Yeah,
If
that
we are
is.
the same, we have to get inspired by him and
Yes.
start us to do our job. And this is why I am working on it with you. And probably next year, I will be there with you in your country for we shake the world together.
Yeah, maybe we start an exchange program. We're gonna exchange, bring some more Brazilians here, and send some more dumb Americans over there for you guys. It's
Now
like
we have a lot of work to do
I was just saying, I love
for
America.
foreign people.
Foreign people, foreign exchange program.
Yes.
We'll send Americans in the middle of the jungle to interact with dimensional beings.
Yes. If
No,
you are able to do it with us, if you are feeling this kind of
yeah,
talk is touching you, we are ready to receive you.
of
You
course.
can comment below, and we are ready to answer your questions or even make some podcasts about your topics you might suggest for us, and can maybe We had a meeting in person in your country, on your city. It's in our plans. You have to watch this guy because he is about to fulfill his destiny, and you will see talking a lot around the world about this.
Well, thank you for that. And in closing, uh, like you said, I by the way, my this house that I have here can be a base. It's a safe house of the Dakilian kind, so you can visit anytime. And we have many bases in US and in Brazil where people can go and be hosted and be received with the best care possible while they discover the information and knowledge about Dracula. And US, in a way, I'm here because I haven't given up on the United States. And there's amazing people here. There's a lot of knowledge. Obviously, this is the command center of the world, and a lot of technologies and a lot of the bright people, the masons and the holders of the secret, which in a way they used it, they sold to their overlords, but it does not take away the credit of what they were able to achieve with this nation, with this country, and the technologies and the wealth that they generate in the United States. We only have to learn about that. But right now, United States is a place where they lost their soul, right? As a country, as a nation, um, and perhaps there might be uh, why we're here, because there is a reason why we're here, and we could have been in so many different places.
Yes,
And I know there's so many dimensions here, and I feel like I know all the dimensions here. I feel there's a lot of dimensions here that perhaps have will be activated when the time is up. And I do want to invite people from the spiritual communities here in the US. There's some people, up and coming names out there in the field, and a lot of people that are popular in their community, but they're not so well known. We are inviting you guys to reach out to us and to connect with us and to interact with us. And we're always want to find things in common, and we want to share our information. And we are messengers, right? And I see a lot of like um, competition in the spiritual community, and I never liked competition. I always wanted people to respect everybody's background and opinion, but still be open and be sincere enough and be direct enough to welcome new ideas, right? And I wonder why Dracula is still an obscure uh, place in United States, even though there's been efforts and stuff. But why this project is not being known in everywhere in the United States? Why all of these people like Billy Carson, Graham Hancock, uh, Linda Moulton Howe, Robert Edward Grant, all these people that are amazing and they are in touch with the truth. Why are they not reaching out to ask, to find more information? So the invitation is extended, and hopefully that we will shift that, and we start with this. And you can go ahead and wrap up, and I can put this little bunny to sleep.
for sure, for sure. We are. I am really happy for this, and I am open it for it too. And let's go shake the world, little bunny.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, little bunny.
Say bye bye, little bunny. Have a good night.
Bye bye, little bunny. Have a good
Say goodnight,
night.
Cicero. Say
See you
goodnight.
guys in the next episode.
Take care. Thank you, and until
Take
next time.
care. Till next time. Mhm.